Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a story time video. This is something that is still affecting me every single day and probably will affect me for the rest of my life. And I'm very nervous to talk about this because I know there's going to be some backlash from it. People are always going to have something negative to say about any situation, and this is a situation where there's usually a lot of victim blaming. So I do just want to put it out there that this is something really hard for me to talk about, and I need to talk about it because it's therapeutic for me. It's always been something on my channel that it's a common theme that I share terrible experiences with you. And I know that's very odd for some people to understand why, but to me it's always, I look at it as I could be helping someone by sharing this, or it could help me to let this bad thing go and just have it out in the open. And I know some people may judge me for the actual event that happened, but it was not my fault, and I wish I could take back this entire night, but I can't, and I will live with that forever. That disclaimer being said, let's get on with what actually happened. So I'm sure you can tell by the title of the video that I was drugged. I want to preface this by saying this is a very sensitive topic for some people, so if you are triggered by things of this nature, please click out of the video. I don't want to trigger anyone and I don't want to upset anyone. So to start off the scene and kind of explain how all of this started was I moved to a new state and a new city on August 19th of 2018. So I've been living on my own for like 6 months now. The only person that I knew before moving here that lived in the city was my boyfriend, and I was looking forward to starting work so I could meet new friends, and I started a new job in October. It was October 9th was the day that I started. So 2 of the girls that I met were in the same job position as me, and so we were always around each other a lot. We had a group chat, a lot of the same, views on things, so we all got along really well. I haven't asked them about including their names in the video, so just for the sake of their privacy, I am just going to refer to them as A and as K. So A and K were my, close work friends. They're definitely my closest friends in the city that I live in. So we would always talk about hanging out or going out, and that was always, something that we talked about doing but never actually made plans, and our schedules never lined up. But then the night of December 9th, so a big group of us got together. It was me, Kay, A's girlfriend, and then 3 people that A knew. Me and my friend Kay didn't know them, and then we met up with 2 of our other work friends later that night. So Kay and myself went to A's apartment, and we each had a drink or 2, and I do want to let you guys know I am 21. I turned 21 in October and didn't go out, didn't do anything crazy. Going out is usually not my cup of tea. I don't like being around the party scene. To be honest, I have been drinking since I was 14 years old. I had a big problem with it in high school, and then I went to one of the nation's biggest party schools for college for a semester, and I had problems with drinking then. I know how to hold my liquor. I know, where my limits are. I'm always usually the mom of the group. That's always my role. I like to make sure I know where everyone is and where everyone's limits are, just so I know, if someone needs help or if someone needs to go home or, whatnot. I like to be the one in, the best state, the most sober state. The place that we went was a place recommended by A and her girlfriend. They are friends with the owner of this bar. It was the birthday of the owner of the bar that we were going to, so they wanted to go and give him a present. Our intention was never to stay at this bar the whole night, and we were gonna kind of go to somewhere else to meet up with 2 of the other work friends that we intended to see. So we had 2 drinks before we left to go to the bar, and once we got to the bar, it had been roughly 90 minutes since we had our last drink before we got our next one. So at this point, I'm completely sober. me and, you know, my friend Kay are talking, everyone's getting along, we're just listening to music. And keep in mind, this bar is an upscale bar. It's not in the party scene of my city. It's more in the, it's known as the gay district, which is why I agreed to go out, because I have a serious boyfriend. I don't like being around clubs or, you know, places where there's a lot of like college people or just like singles. I don't like that scene just because it's not something that I'm interested in, or something where, you know, I'm looking to meet someone. Basically, I just wanted to be with my girls. And the reason that I agreed to go out was because the place we were going was a gay district, so I thought, you know, oh, I'm going to be safe from people, you know, hitting on me or, you know, creepy guys, anything of that nature. And so I was looking forward to kind of just having a chill night with my friends, having a few drinks, listening to some music, and going home. This bar was also very, very upscale, and there were also only older adults there. I'd say everyone who was there that night was in their late 20s to mid 40s. Then when we had gotten to the bar, it had been 90 minutes since we had had the last drink. And I was texting my mom. Me and my mom were sending memes back and forth. My boyfriend, who was really excited for me to go out with my friends, he was at home, and I had told him, okay, I'll be home in the next hour. So me and my friend Kay really stuck together that night. We were the only people there who didn't know anyone else in the group. And so we would, you know, go to the bathroom together. We would order a drink together. We had 2 drinks together and a shot in a 2-hour period. So I was completely coherent the entire time. Like I said, I was texting my mom, perfect grammar, texting my boyfriend, and once I told him that I was going to be home in the next hour, he's like, oh, okay, cool, you know, everything's going great. I sent him a couple pictures of me and my friends that we had someone take of us, and then he like shut his phone off and went to bed. It's like 1:30, 2 a.m. at this point. I remember going to the restroom, again, completely coherent. I knew exactly what was going on. I can remember the exact conversations that we were having, and I go up to the bar to get my last drink, which was my 3rd of the night, I think. So keep in mind, this is like 5 drinks in like a 4-hour span, which is very low, especially for someone whose tolerance, like me, is very high. Go up to the bar to get a drink with my friend Kay, and there's this really strange man up there. He's a Caucasian man, he has brown hair, and I walk up to the bar. My friend Kay is standing on my left side, and the man is sitting on a stool or the chair or whatever to my right. And so we're standing there, we get the drink, and he asks me, why is your phone so small? And I'm like, what? So I look at him and I was like, what? And he's like, why is your phone so small? And he kept asking me these weird questions, and my phone is like small because I have a 5S, so it's like, you know, it looks smaller than like the 6, 7, 8 or whatever. I don't even know what models they have now, but it's, you know, like a smaller model. And so he kept asking me these weird questions about my phone, and then I don't even remember what else he started asking me because I was like, what is he saying? And so I remember getting my drink, looking at my friend, and I'm like, what is he saying? And I was like, oh, this is so weird, looking at my friend. And so then we turn around because one of my friends is asking me a question. A was asking us a question. She's like, what is he saying? And I was like, I don't know. And so then I grab my drink, walk over, and she's like, I remember she said something to this guy. It was like, she's not single, or she already has a man, or so. She said something along those lines. I don't remember the exact wording of it, but it was something along the lines of, don't talk to her, she already has a man, something like that. And so I remember the exact bartender who gave it to us too. She had long dark hair, and she didn't say much. She was really, really quiet, but I don't know if this is a girl who was affected or not, but I do imagine that this was the girl who got affected, and I will speak on that later in this video. There was a 10 to 20 minute time span from the time that I spoke with that man and he was asking me weird questions to the time where I was laying outside unconscious on the concrete. When I tell you I don't remember anything, I do not remember a single thing at all. I don't remember one thing. When you black out, you still, for me and for everyone that I've talked to, you have like little glimpses or flashbacks and stuff of, you know, oh my goodness, like this night was crazy. Oh, I remember, you know, doing this and doing this and doing this, or I remember you doing this, and oh, that's so funny. And then you black out. That's how like everyone I know's blackouts work. But for this, I was totally fine, you know, having fun, took a couple pictures, a couple videos, you know, having full-on conversations with my mother, my boyfriend, everything. I was completely fine to being unconscious, like unconscious. That's what the nurse told me the next morning, was that I was unconscious on the concrete. It was black from 2 a.m. to about 9 a.m. I don't have any recollection for 7 hours. I don't have any memories, and that's the scariest part about this, because it just goes to show how powerful these drugs can be. Basically, I somehow got outside the bar. Of course, I was throwing up because my body was rejecting the drug. I guess my friends tried to send me home in an Uber, but they canceled it, and then someone called the ambulance. I know A and her girlfriend were going back and forth as to if they should send me to a hospital or if they should just take me to their house so I could sleep it off. I am so grateful for them doing this and taking me to the hospital. I don't know whose you know, decision it was to call 911, but I am so grateful that they did, because I 1000% for a fact would be dead. So they took me outside. I was really sick, and then they called an ambulance. I was laying on the concrete because I was unconscious and had, you know, no ability to stand up, speak to anyone, or you know, explain what had happened, because I was unconscious. So the paramedics come, and according to A and her girlfriend, the paramedic who helped me was making sexual remarks about the way I was laying on the concrete, which is absolutely disgusting and infuriates me beyond belief. I was told I was laying in a strange position, somewhat like of a yoga pose, which is what my friend A told me, and he had said something along the lines of, you know, a sexual comment to where they were uncomfortable. Someone who is in the healthcare industry, someone who you trust with your life, no one in that position should be making sexual remarks about someone who is unconscious, or at all. That is absolutely so disgusting, and it makes me so mad. And so I got in the ambulance. No one went with me. No one got in the ambulance with me, which is fine. I think you had to be related to me to do that. But I was completely alone with this paramedic who had made sexual remarks about me on the concrete, being unconscious, which is gross. And while I was unconscious, he took my phone from my purse and took a photo of me in the ambulance, strapped in, completely unconscious. And I'll go ahead and insert that picture here. Just be warned, it is really, to me, it's gross to look at. It made my mom cry, and it's very, I don't know, it's just, I don't like looking at it. It's kind of a hard picture to look at, but this is the picture that the paramedic took after he took my phone from my purse. And while this photo is up, I just wanted to add that for the entire week after I woke up in the hospital, I was really sick, and I felt awful, had just like the worst nausea, headache, and felt really sick. And I just, like, it's hard to explain, but it was a really awful nausea sickness I had. It was a real shock for me to wake up the next morning and look at my phone's camera and see that he had done that, which is disgusting. That really just, it makes you feel weird. It just makes you feel like you're violated. It makes you feel like your privacy's been taken from you, and I don't know, it's just gross. There was no medical reason for him to take that photo of me. I've looked through so many HIPAA laws. I reported it to HIPAA, but they're not going to investigate it. It's just disgusting. Nobody in that industry should take a photo of me unconscious without my consent, or anybody that knows me or anybody who is related to me's consent. That's disgusting. So I am furious about that being done, and I'm really furious that nobody's going to look into it and see if there's a problem going on within the actual EMS department that I was on the ambulance for. I woke up the next morning in the hospital all alone with a ton of machines hooked up to me, and I just started crying because I had no idea why I was there. I have no recollection of, you know, anything that had transpired in the 7-hour gap from when I remember speaking with my friends and this weird guy asking me weird questions, and then I wake up completely alone the next morning. I really hate talking about this story because it just makes me so angry, but I remember calling my boyfriend. My purse was still with me by some miraculous happening. And I called him and I let him know where I was, and I remember I was just bawling my eyes out, and he's like, okay, I'm coming to get you, it's okay. So he came and got me, and he sat with me in the ER, and the nurses were so rude. I asked, you know, when I first woke up before he had got there, I was talking about, you know, asking what had happened. I was asking about how, you know, all of this had happened and why I was here, and I was crying while I was doing it, and the nurse who was talking to me was like, "You're not the first person that this has happened to," and she was so cold about it and didn't care, like, didn't want to talk to me, made me feel like an idiot. And that just like makes you feel worse, because someone who's supposed to be taking care of you and making you feel better makes you feel like stupid and like it's your fault, and like there's nothing they could have done about it and whatever. So that was a real super thing to have, wake up to, whatever. So my boyfriend comes, and he was being really sweet, and then they were rude to him, and he was not happy about that too. He was trying to help me get dressed, and they snapped at him, and it was just really strange. And so I remember calling my mom on the way to my boyfriend's house and crying. I cried for like 6 hours. I'm not joking. I cried from the second I woke up until like probably, I remember it was dark out when I finally like was okay. So yeah, that was really fun. And then I remember coming home and taking a shower and laying down and crying and feeling so violated, because it's scary. You lost 7 hours of your life and you don't know what happened. Luckily I was not assaulted, but you know, the fact that that could have happened is so terrifying. I was told that I was found unconscious, and part of my brain started shutting down. The part that controls voluntary function was shutting down, so I was dying. If I would have not got medical attention and all of the tests done and all of the treatments that I got done, I would have died, because my brain would have just lost activity, which is very, 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 very scary to think about, because I feel like I have so much ahead of me. Like, why am I gonna cry? There's just a lot of stuff that I want to do, and like just almost losing your life because someone had that awful intention like in their heart to do. It's really scary. It just sucks, because it's like the one time I want to go out, or the one time I want to, you know, try and be a normal 21-year-old and go out to a bar and have a drink. I almost died. So now I am completely terrified of anyone pouring me a drink. I don't let waiters pour drinks unless I see it. So like if I am at a buffet and there's a glass of water on the table when I come back, I can't drink it. I ask for a new one because I need to see them pour it. I was so smart this night. I was so smart. I've heard so many horror stories of my friends getting drugged with water bottles, with, you know, punch at frat parties, with shots. Like I've heard it, I've seen it, and I know it, but I still took my eyes off my drink for 5 seconds max. There was a bartender at this bar who was also drugged. My friend A reached out to her friend who was the owner of the bar, and she let them know the situation with me. So he had told her, not only was a bartender drugged the same night that me and my friend K were, but 4 people in the last week had come to him at that bar saying that they were drugged. And so then the owner also let my friend A know that there are bars in the area being targeted by who knows what group, a single person, a few people, but this area is being targeted and people are being drugged to an alarming extent. There is some speculation that the area is being targeted due to the fact that it is considered like the gay district, which is so infuriating, and it makes me sick that there are people out there who want to commit these crimes on innocent people who just want to live their lives, and just based on who they are, there's people that want to hurt those people. So in my heart of hearts, I do believe that there are predators in the area of the district that I was in that just want to hurt everyone, that want to hurt the people that frequent these areas. And of course, there were no cameras in this bar, which I don't know if that's legal or not. But the owner of the bar said that he was going to speak with the owners of the bars in the area to see if there's something that they can do, since they're all getting hit with this extreme drugging frequency and the problem of it happening. I have $5,000 in medical bills. it just stresses me out every single day. I don't think my insurance is going to cover it, so that's really cool. And so now I get to figure out how to pay that in a year's span, and I don't know. I'm just so angry. Please, please, please be as safe as possible when you go out, because you know, a lot of people go out and never have an incident, but some people like me go out for the first time and have this awful experience. So just please watch your drinks, watch your friends, watch the bartenders, watch people around you as much as possible, because I don't want anything like this happening to any of you watching this video. It's scary, and you know, it creates a lot of weird emotions in your head, and I just, you know, there's always something worse that could have happened, but this is like obviously not a fun situation to be in, and I just want all of you to be safe and, you know, be really hyper, extra, super aware of your surroundings. So if any of you have a similar situation, you feel like you need to talk about it, feel free to vent in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram. I always love when you guys talk with me and let me know how you're feeling, or, you know, things that have happened to you. I love if I can help you with anything, so don't feel ashamed or don't be afraid to send me a DM. I also just want to say that if you think your friend has been drugged, if you guys are out, please call an ambulance. Don't risk it. I've had a friend pass away after mixing drugs and alcohol. It goes the same for over drinking. Just call an ambulance. Take someone to the hospital if you feel like they've been drugged, they've drank too much, or they've mixed drugs and alcohol. It's just not worth it to, even if you're underage, don't worry about getting in trouble if you're underage. Just please make sure someone gets medical attention, because if I wouldn't have gotten medical attention, I would not be sitting here right now. Please just make sure that you're safe and you're on the smarter side of things and contact, you know, medical attention as soon as you can to save your friend's life or to save your own life. With that being said, I think that is it for this video. Thank you guys for letting me vent to you and just get this story out. It does make me feel a lot better, and I'm really grateful that I do have this platform to share my story with you guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. I love you very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.